Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Budgeting in Three Dimensions. And today is kind of a good wrap up because today's topic is the only budgeting system you'll ever need. And you know where I'm going with this. Now, I'm gonna make a bold statement here. I'm gonna make a really bold statement here. Every budgeting method you've ever tried has one thing in common. It wasn't the last one. Today, that changes. I'm going to introduce you to the only budgeting system you will ever need. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly why. Now, there's this endless search for a method that works. And I will agree with you, it's exhausting. The apps downloaded and then they're deleted. The spreadsheet started and then they're abandoned. The books read and the courses started but never finished. Every one of those attempts costs time, money, and momentum. The reason no single method has ever been the last one is that every method you have tried was built on an incomplete foundation, not a wrong approach, an incomplete one. One dimension that deserves three dimensions to solve the problem. This episode is the full picture, the complete system, the method, the course that teaches it, and the tool that runs it, all in one place. This is the conversation that ends the search. And yeah, I said it. I said it. Now, what's the common denominator with all of these budgeting apps, spreadsheets, and so forth that we've tried? Okay. You're talking about the envelope system, the budget, the money jars, the app. We even talk about the 50-30-20 rule, the zero-based approach. All of this is built around the same single layer. It's a plan that is made before the month starts. The projected budget per se. Now, why is that not enough? A projected budget is a forecast. It tells you what you intend to do. It tells you how you're planning to spend. But it has no mechanism for tracking what actually happened. There's no feedback loop for mid-month correction. And there's no long-term view of whether anything is improving. Every method has failed you. It has failed you. But it was missing the same two things, every single one of them. It's not a better category system. It's not a smarter algorithm. The actual budget and the summary budget, the second and the third dimensions of budgeting in three dimensions. These are dimensions that transform a plan into a complete, self-sustaining financial system. Budgeting in three dimensions is a philosophy that is converted into a system, and it's the only method built around all three dimensions from the ground up. This is what makes it the last system that you'll ever need. You have tried real things that came recommended and generally work for some people. The issue is not quality, it's incompleteness. Okay? So let's talk about the system, the complete system. Budgeting in three dimensions, the full framework. Budgeting in three dimensions is a complete money management system built on three integrated layers. It's three dimensions that work together every month to give you a plan, to give you a reality check, and a long-term view simultaneously. Let's talk about the first dimension, the projected budget. Everybody knows about the projected budget. You know what it is. It's your intentional monthly financial plan, income, expenses, and spending categories that are all set before the month begins. What does it do for you? It creates the financial intention that every spending decision in the month is measured against. Without it, every decision is reactive. What is its role? It is the foundation. It is the starting point. It is the plan that becomes powerful when connected to the two dimensions that follow. So, what are the other two dimensions? Second dimension is the actual budget. What does the actual budget do? The actual budget is a real time record of every dollar actually spent throughout the month and is tracked actively and compared directly against the projected budget. What does it do for you? This is where you get closure in terms of the feedback loop. It turns the static plan into live financial document. It makes mid-month course corrections possible instead of inevitable end of the month regret. Its role is that it's the reality layer. This dimension keeps the plan connected to what is actually happening all month, every month. Now that takes us to the third dimension, the summary budget. What is a summary budget? It's a cumulative monthly record of spending patterns, variances, and financial progress that connects every month to the ones before it. What does it do for you? It transforms individual months into a financial trajectory. It reveals patterns invisible in a single month. It feeds the next month's projected budget with real data instead of repeated guesses. What's its role in the whole system? This is the growth layer. This is the dimension that turns effort into momentum and momentum into lasting financial transformation, which is consistency. It's the closed loop. This is how you close the loop right here. This is how the three dimensions interact. The projected budget sets the intention. The actual budget tested against reality. And the summary budget captures what was learned. That learning informs a stronger projected budget the next month. The loop runs continuously, and every cycle produces a more consistent, more capable budgeter, that one that you're trying to become. Why is this the only system needed? Because it covers every stage of the financial month and every stage of the financial journey. There is no gap for failure to enter. The system is complete by design. So no matter what adverse circumstances you come with financially, any unexpected expenses, any traumatic effects that cause a shift in life, a shift in your dynamics, it doesn't matter because the system will capture it, allow you to understand where you are as a result of it, and then be able to course correct, even if it has to come in the next month. And that is not anything that an app can do for you. The power here is in the integration. You plan, You track, you review, and then you plan again. Then you track and review, and then you plan again. That closed loop is what no other method delivers. Your entire financial history has been defined by incomplete systems. Now it's time to add the completeness, which is the differentiator. The budgeting in 3 dimensions is a philosophy. It is a method that only changes your life when you actually implement it. I've built 3 specific resources to make sure implementation is never the obstacle. First, you have the finance book trilogy. I've written 3 books that talk to this. The main one is called Budgeting in 3 Dimensions, but alongside it is also the personal finance choice for teens and young adults for ages 15 to 28. And then there's the credit choice. And those are 10 ways to make sure that you can use credit cards without going into major financial debt. All of those books are available on robertfnewkirk.com. So what is this trilogy of books? It's a complete written framework. It's the definitive explanation of why 1-dimension budgeting fails. It's how budgeting in 3 dimensions work and the philosophy behind building a money management practice that lasts and lasts and lasts as long as you use it. Who's it for? It's for anyone who wants the full intellectual foundation before they build the habit. The reader who needs to understand why before they commit to the how. What does it deliver? It delivers clarity, it delivers conviction, and it delivers a complete conceptual map of the system so that every step taken after reading it is grounded and intentional. The second thing that I have for this complete system, the way that you can access this complete system, is the course itself. The Budgeting in 3 Dimensions Money Management course. What is this course? It's a guided step-by-step money management course that you listen to me walk you through every dimension of the system. How to build each budget, how to maintain practice month after month, how to build your mindset so that you can switch and adapt this new philosophy, and how to use the system to drive real financial progress over time, plus more, because it talks about investing, it talks about debt elimination, it talks about credit building, and then it talks about the simple steps to start investing. These are items that you haven't been able to do because your budgeting system has been incomplete. But now you're in a position to actually find money for investment capital. Who is it for? The person who has tried budgeting before and needs more than a concept. This is for the person that needs a guided walkthrough that takes them from where they are to where they want to be, with the full budgeting in 3 dimensions system as the vehicle. What does it deliver? Not just financial knowledge, it delivers financial competence, the ability to run the complete system confidently, independently, and consistently for the rest of your life. The tool is the third thing that we have to access the complete system. The Budget 360 application tool. What is it? It's a purpose-built application that houses all 3 dimensions, the projected budget, the actual budget, and the summary budgets in a single integrated platform, engineered specifically around the philosophy of budgeting in 3 dimensions. Who's it for? Anyone ready to execute the system, whether they are coming from the book, whether they're coming from the course, or they're just walking in brand new. The tool is where understanding becomes practice. What makes it definitively different is not a budgeting app with 3 features, 4 features. It's a three-dimensional budgeting system built into one application. The structure of the tool mirrors the structure of the method, which is budgeting in 3 dimensions. So every time the listener opens it, they are running the complete system. The book builds understanding. The course builds competence. The tool builds the habit. Together, they close every gap between knowing the system and living it. So you get the opportunity to have these distinct roles of understanding, competence, and habit. You can present it as progression. It becomes a progression. This is not a choice of equals. This is above and beyond wherever you've been before. If you have never successfully managed a budget from start to finish, this system gives you the complete structure from day one. You will never have to wonder what is missing because nothing is. If you have tried and failed more times than you want to count, this is the system that explains every failure you have had in the past, never to have again, and structurally prevents the next one from happening. You were not the problem. The incomplete method was. If you have downloaded every tool on the market and still do not have a financial consistency, budgeting in 3 dimensions is what the apps were never built to deliver. This is not a better app. It is a complete method. It is a complete philosophy with a purpose-built tool to run it. If you understand budgeting conceptually, but cannot translate into a consistent practice, the course and the tool are the bridge between knowing and doing. No matter where you are in your financial journey, whether you are a beginner, whether you are a repeat failure, whether you're an app veteran or a knowledge seeker, the budgeting in 3 dimensions was built for you because it's the only system that's built to be complete. Now, at the start of this episode, I made a bold claim that this is the only budgeting system you will ever need. I hope you now can see why that claim is not arrogance. It is architecture. It is a 3 dimensional system with no gaps. It, by definition, is the last system you will ever need. Whether this is the first episode of this podcast you have heard or the 9th, you now have the complete picture. You have the method. You have the ecosystem. You have the reason every past attempt fell short and the structure that replaces it permanently. The search for a budgeting system that works ends today. Not because I said so, but because you now have budgeting in 3 dimensions mindset. You have the budgeting in 3 dimensions philosophy, and you have a course to guide you through them and a tool built to run them. Everything you need is right here. Pick up the book, Budgeting in 3 Dimensions, and then also take a look at the personal finance choice for teens and young adults and the credit choice using credit cards. I like to use credit cards to make money. I think you might learn to do the same. Then you can enroll in the Budgeting in Three Dimensions Money Management course and download the Budget 360 application tool, all on our website, robertfnewkirk.com. Start with one, use all three. Build the financial life you've been planning for, because you have always had the commitment. Now you have the complete system, the only system you will ever need, which is called budgeting in three dimensions.